All right, so we're going to talk about doing a deeper release to your pecs, the muscles in the front of your chest. So if you are having anything going on with your neck, anything going on with your shoulder or your upper back, this is a crucial place to dive into deeper. I suggest using a softer ball for this. If you don't have a softer ball, you could lay a little towel over the ball you have to try to soften it a little bit. But I really recommend, if you're going to try to get into this zone, that you have something a little bit softer. And I'm going to demonstrate the one on the floor, but just know that you can also do this against the wall. So leaning maybe through a doorway, or you can put a yoga block against the wall and then put the ball and then your body. There's pictures of that in the PDFs. So we're essentially, you've got your sternum in the center, you've got your clavicles coming out from both sides. We're essentially going to start right in the center and just kind of work our way out. We're going to get into the front part of this armpit, deep in your pec. So you're going to come onto your belly, and we're going to have the ball right in the center, at your sternum. And then you're just going to rest. I have my head resting on my right hand, whatever's comfortable. And just take a couple of breaths here. So I'm literally just right on my breastbone, right in the center, kind of closer up towards that notch at the top. If you have this softer ball, I have the Yamana ball right now, you can really explore wherever. Like if it feels like you want to move the ball a little bit lower, and just take a couple of breaths. And then you can just start to like shift your body side to side ever so slightly. So we're right along your breastbone. And I'm just taking my body and I'm rolling side to side a couple inches. So right now we're kind of working in to where your ribs come in and attach at your sternum. I'm moving it a little bit higher. I'm going to go back and forth. And then I'm kind of coming up right where my clavicles come in and meet. This is called your SC joint, so your sternoclavicular joints on either side. I'm breathing. And then we're just going to pick a side. I'm going to start to work off to the left side. So then I just move the ball off to the left a little bit, just under my clavicle on the left. So I'm kind of at the inside edge of my clavicle where it meets my sternum. And again, depending on how tight you are, this may be super intense, this may be not so bad. And so just start to let yourself explore here. You can breathe for sure. Your ribs will move as you breathe, right? So you're getting some mobility there. You can turn your head side to side. You can start to move this left arm around. So you can take it out to the side. You could go down by your side. You could take it up overhead. You can internally rotate, put your palm against the back of your hand against your back. Move your elbow. Whatever feels. You're just looking for those areas of tightness. And then you're slowly working your way out towards your shoulder. So we're working this whole pec, whole front part of your chest, essentially. So your pec muscles cover the entire front of your chest. So for a woman, it's underneath your breast tissue. So they're, essentially any part of that muscle can be tight and need releasing, but the more you're getting right into your breast tissue, the more uncomfortable it is typically. So just kind of let yourself explore. So you could go a little bit lower if that feels like where you need it. And if you are large breasted, you can take a block maybe and place it underneath this to lift the ball up a little bit higher, right? So that you're able to really get in contact with that. You could try using a larger ball. So all just kind of depends on kind of making things work for you. Breathing. And then we're going to work all the way out into what's called your pec minor and getting into this, essentially the front part of your armpit. So when we did your rotator cuff, we were in that back half of your armpit. And now we're going to be in this front half of your armpit. So if you just place the ball and bring that arm up overhead, right in the front part of that armpit, and just get into this zone. This is right in that deeper pec muscles. Again, you can move your arm wherever you need it to be. Looking for that tightness. Breathing. This zone is so crucial for posture, right? When we hang out with our shoulders rounded forward, this gets really tight and restricted. Crucial to release this. If you're a person who finds that your hands and arms go numb when you sleep, this is a really important place to release. I find that a lot of times, especially when people are sleeping on their side, you're kind of rounding into this area, and when it's really tight, it just compresses all of these nerves and arteries that are running through what's called your brachial plexus. And so really getting in here and releasing this tissue can help with that. These are some of our most important lymphatic drainage points in your chest. So opening up this tissue is really important to just our lymphatic flow in our whole body. So let's just take a couple more breaths on this side. And then we'll go ahead into our other side. Again, starting gently, just see how it sits in your system, and then you can always do more, go deeper. You're listening to your rules here, right? You should always be able to breathe into it, relax into it, soften. And even if it's intense, it should lessen in intensity the longer you hang out there. So then when you're ready, same thing, you just shift back into that sort of central point.